Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Legend of the Five Rings campaign, Bone, Blood, and Blade. My name is Will. I will be your storyteller this evening. Last we left off, we had to do a little bit of reconfiguring as our dragon player fell asleep at the wheel and kind of knocked out for the day. But that left Kuni Saizo and Doji Izanagi to deal with the loud thud that ended the previous episode, which turned out to be the elder Shugenja kind of spiritual advisor for the town having fallen. Excuse me. With some care and some attention to detail, the two nice samurai helped the elder man to his room, where they noticed a daisho of phoenix colors, a motif with the Asahina family mon, and what became the focus of conversation, which was a wrapped up four-fingered hand of what was a goblin at some point. And with a small cleansing ritual and a tea ceremony to kind of put ill omens at ease, a great oppressive air was vanquished in the magistrate building. Afterwards, the next day, they discovered that Doji Borano had gone and found himself a victim that he blamed for the crime of the handmaiden's death. Before anything else could be done, he had taken the man's life, brought in his son, who looked to have been beaten to within a few inches of his life, and then picked out some able-bodied crane to kind of go looking for the man's wife. And after some questioning and some actual humane attempts at reasoning, it was discovered that the family had nothing to do with this death. And so Doji Izanagi sent for Kuni Saizo, and together they stopped Doji Borano from committing another heinous crime against this village's family daimyo. And we left off with the two of them having discovered the symbol for time, the kanji for toki, in four different instances around the family home and its business. And this is where we found our two compatriots coming in contact again with Tamori Mori. And so we pick up with the three of them again. Hello, everyone. It's good to see all of you gathered. And just like I said, we left off with Tamori Mori kind of coming up behind the magistrate and just with a big smile on their face. What did I miss?
Boo!
He jumps.
Ah. Greetings, little dragon.
Good morning, little dragon. How do you feel?
What was in the sake? That couldn't have just
Sake.
been... No.
No. It was just sake.
No, there's something else.
Oh, okay, fine. It was sake from the Crablands. Still sake.
Got it. They party hard. That's why.
This
Oh,
is
We party like it's our last.
How long was I out?
A good portion of
Well-
day.
What? What'd you say?
A good portion of the day.
The whole day? Oh, okay. And it's just
Yeah.
the same day, though, right?
No.
It's the same day?
Yeah.
It is the next day.
No. It's the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
you
slept
woke
all
up
through the
with. Yeah, you woke up with like a pillow on, like a pillow of a kimono under your head, and you were covered up, and everything was set up next to you. We like tucked you in and left.
Really? You could have just shaken me awake. You
No,
could've just-
no. First of all, I'm not nearly strong enough to carry you. Two,
That's true.
there's an old saying, let sleeping dragons lie. I learned that because of my wife. When she's asleep, you don't bother her.
What did I miss? Is there anything that happened on the full day that I slept?
Well, my idiot cousin killed someone that I need to apologize for today. But we found something interesting, and I point out the symbols to you of time. These have been surreptitiously put out throughout the house in places that would not easily be seen. This one in this tea kettle, if you look into it like you would normally look into a tea kettle, you don't even see the symbol. And it looks like it's been wiped away a little bit, and probably just because of them cleaning it after use. It doesn't look like it's been wiped on purpose. And then over here, and I take you to the one underneath the bed. Underneath their bed, and I pull it up again, it seems that the earth has been packed here, and the symbol has been carved underneath them. But it's all this symbol for time, which makes no sense to me whatsoever. Because what kuni are you trying to call? Or gain the attention of?
Yeah. And it's been 4 symbols, which all of you know 4 is an unlucky number in Japanese and Chinese mythology because of their approximation to the word death.
Say this doesn't look great.
No, it
What if they're
doesn't
trying
at
to
all.
slow down death?
Maybe. That would be
Yeah.
interesting.
Slow down or invite.
It might be invite, but why would this poor little family garner such attention? Because this is attention of somebody who knows what they're doing. It's not just some random, peasant who knows even about these symbols, let alone how to put them in a way that they would be here but not seen.
Spoken to
They were pretty well hidden.
Yeah. So it seems to me more a practitioner that knows what they're doing. So in my mind, they're being targeted. I don't know why.
Have you spoken to the family yet?
Not yet. They're currently at the
We spoke to the mom and the son.
Yes, but they left to the funeral of their husband, father, and should be back in a little bit. We were actually waiting for them when you arrived.
Perfect. Let's ask them.
Their stores were robbed of their materials.
And the symbol was
Crafts
painted,
items.
and the symbol was also painted on what was it, a slab of onyx?
No, it was on the outside of their building.
And but it wasn't also on a slab inside, right?
Yes.
It was in 2 places.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was carved outside underneath a bed of flowers in a way that wouldn't be seen. I just happened to find it purely out of luck.
Not
Just
carved,
noticing.
It was painted in
Huh?
blood, wasn't it?
Yeah, you're right. It was
Painted in blood.
the ones over there were painted in blood. These I don't think
Yeah.
are.
No.
Yeah, which would make those fresher than these.
Is it human blood?
Well,
Is
no.
there any
I look
chance that
inside the
anyone checked?
teapot again.
I showed.
I look inside the
handed
teapot.
to
Is
him.
it is it carved or is it blood, Jew?
It
No.
looks like it was. Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
He told me it was like.
It looks like it was scratched in very faintly with like a very pointed
Okay.
nail or a very thin kind of knife, like a curved blade. But it does kind of also have some kind of either packed earth or a kind of tincture of blood kind of smeared over it as well.
Hmm.
Like
Okay.
great care
And
was
what about
done.
the symbol under the bed? Does that have any residue of blood as well?
If you start kind of breaking up the earth, using like one of their hand
Yes,
tools.
one of their tools. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of their onyx tools. It's onyx, right?
Obsidian.
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 One of their obsidian tools I would use.
Okay. As the second you pierce the soil with the tip of the obsidian, you see it start to bleed like a wound.
Oh, I literally throw the blade away, step back, and start saying a prayer to the Kumi, like.
Okay.
Balance.
And,
Well,
and I yell out, and I yell out for the crab. I'm like, hey! This is your realm.
I go see what he's yelling about.
Oh yeah, you see that he is backing up out of the house, almost without a care of what's behind him. He is just like full speed backwards.
Yeah.
And as he is, he's just kind of like pointing into the house, asking for you specifically. And if you peek in, you see that there is an obsidian kind of jagged piece of metal that was being worked, that looks to have been tossed on the
Okay.
ground, where underneath the bedding that the Tommy met for the bedding. And it looks like he pierced the earth, and it's bleeding like a wound.
I know anything about that.
Oh, let's have you make a Shadowlands roll. Let's break out the dice.
Yeah.
I know enough about it not to be anywhere near it.
I go right up to it.
Of course you would.
Yeah.
That's the coolest thing ever.
I put my hands on my hips and pretend I know what I'm doing and look at the crab the whole time and mimic everything that he does.
Okay. 37.
Oh shit.
You've seen this before in your hunt.
Okay.
This isn't a calling card of his, but it is something that he has been instrumental in kind of spreading. It looks like the beginnings of a blood nihil.
Well then,
This is the kind of thing
that's not great.
that, if left alone and nurtured, would create a kind of blood golem.
Could I use my lore,
Okay.
my lore and theology with this at all, or no?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's have you make a roll.
Yeah.
Let's see what you can add, theologically speaking.
Ha!
23. Good rolls
Damn.
today. The second he starts saying, like, do you kind of give away anything that you learn from the wound?
I'll probably mention that I was like, are they trying to create a blood golem? Like thinking out loud to myself.
Okay. The second he says that, and given the sight of the whole situation, theologically speaking, you know that during the first day of Thunder, there was said to be a great blood speaker that called down a deluge of blood to kind of spread taint throughout the village that was being targeted for an infestation from the Shadowlands. A blood ghoul would help facilitate the summoning of such another storm.
That exact sentence to the crab. Whole thing, all of it, no details missing.
Oh, just straight out
This-
a word vomit of just knowledge.
Right, just like unlocked part of that of my brain and just threw it at you. What do you think, crab? How does that? What is it?
This sounds horrible. Is what I think.
Okay. All right.
Horrible. Yeah. It's
I'm gonna
The
shout
wound's
back
still
to
bleeding?
After a couple of moments, it stops. It's like whatever what's it called? Whatever like stomach of blood was buried here is kind of emptied.
okay.
I want
Can
to
I
tell
tell
the
whose
crane
bed
that it's
this
okay.
was?
Come on back, crane. Come on.
Safe again.
I
Yeah.
I
Can I tell
almost
whose bed this was?
I almost touched it. That's why I'm freaking out because
It was the couples.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the
could
husband
it
and
been
wife then.
could it be draining like life force from them or something to make this possible? Like maybe whoever crafted this was using them as a sacrifice? Because honestly, 2 peasants wouldn't be missed if they died of some sickness.
I don't know. Maho is strange and very malleable.
I'm grateful my cousin didn't find this. He would have just overreacted and killed absolutely everybody within, a few house areas.
Sometimes better safe than sorry.
Yeah, I know, but what if these people are just being used as part of the ritual and they don't know it? And
Probably
honestly, killing them maybe will cut off our chance to find out who did this. Maybe they know somebody.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Sure. Obviously, just by killing these poor people, they won't stop whatever's happening, just delay it. We need to find who's responsible.
Exactly.
What's responsible.
Because honestly, do you really think this is the only one in the entire village?
Probably not.
No.
Probably not.
They probably did this in more than one place, just in case it didn't work out in one.
Should we check at the old lady that I'm staying with?
That's not a bad idea.
Sure, we could. Have
But
a map
we
of your city?
Map of the village?
Yeah, I'm asking Tamori-san if they have a map of the city.
Oh, most likely.
Perfect.
I don't know if I have it on me though.
Oh well, if you don't mind, I will. At the end of today, I'll follow you back, and
Okay.
perhaps we can see if these symbols are pointing to something.
As you guys are talking, you hear a sharp gasp from the door, and you see the woman and her beaten son kind of standing there. And immediately their eyes kind of dart down as they see the three of you.
Guys,
That's an interesting reaction. I'm looking at what they're looking at. They're looking at us or the symbol on the ground.
No, they're looking straight down.
Doing
I'm
it
looking
because
straight
they're
down.
afraid of you.
yes. And remember, we're like as a samurai, you could technically kill them at any moment
Yeah.
for no reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, they have every right to be very nervous that we were in their house.
True.
Can I tell them that it's it's okay. We're not here to harm them in any way. Hi, my name's Tamori.
Well, but they know at least that I'm not here to harm them. I stopped my cousin from
Massive
beating.
dragon
Yeah.
Hi.
with like fists the size of
Yeah.
like her
Hi.
head. It's like it's fine.
It's fine.
We're not going to kill you.
Yeah.
I look at both of them and I say, "Please sit. We must discuss a few things."
You see that she ushers the boy in first, and then she kind of pulls two of the chairs out, one for him and one for her. And she is very caring with him. She's very careful, especially since he's so
Beat.
beaten. And, she kind of goes over before she sits down, and she grabs the ladle from their water bucket, and she hands it to him very carefully, and sits down next to him.
I'm gonna while the doji talks to him, I'm gonna use medicine on the boy and see how hurt he is.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a roll. 16. All right. I'll hold on to that. What do you say to her, Pete? You see the Kuni.
Has there been anyone else staying in your home over the last few weeks?
As you're talking, the crab kind of comes over and starts to give a once over to the boy. His hand trembles when he drinks. You think it's probably broken.
Yeah. that.
Okay.
There's a wince as he breathes, so you think that he has a couple of broken ribs, and there's a bit of a wheeze. So you hope that his lung isn't punctured, but you imagine that he's got some kind of injury to his lungs.
Oh man.
She looks at you. She says, "There has been no visitor, samurai. There was a communal gathering recently. However, some of the families on the street we do a once a year kind of celebration to end the winter season. There was a couple of strangers that we didn't recognize, but otherwise everyone is from the street. From this
Seen
street.
how long
anyone
ago?
strange enter your house?
There was one man. He didn't give us his name, though.
What did he look like?
She describes a man who's maybe about the size of the crane, kind of long black hair, very loosely kept, tied back, with a kind of blue ribbon towards the middle of his shoulder blades. No daisho, just a simple katana. Not fancy clothing, but definitely a well kept kimono. And then she kind of, in the middle of her description, she goes, he did say he was related to Mai Shen. So I let it go.
Okay. And did he? How long was he here? Did he bring you anything? Did he leave anything? Did he take anything?
She goes over. She excuses herself as she moves past you, and she goes over to their pantry where she pulls out a small kind of ceramic, like a little gourd of tea leaves. Like, he left this as a gift.
I
see that.
I was gonna hand it to you. I was like,
Yeah.
He says that he always brings some for Mai Shen, that she's a cousin of his, and that he looks after her.
So you've seen him before?
You've been using this?
No. He had confused our house for hers, and so he was sheepish about it. We've drank a couple of cups. My husband more than us. He has grown fond of it, so I was going to ask Mai Shen where we might procure more.
I go grab some chopsticks from their pantry and I start pulling out all the tea and just arranging it on a plate.
Okay.
Like, just in case it is fine, I'm going to put it back.
Yeah.
But
I
don't want to stick my hand in there.
Yeah, it looks like dark green with these red, almost purple fibers in the veins. There's a little flecks of gold in the seedlings and the kind of the hard, kind of nutty parts of the tea itself. The leaves themselves don't vary in the color. They're all kind of like a dark green, like almost like a very wet pine green.
Okay.
using my tea ceremony skill
Yeah,
that I'm trained in,
sure.
have I ever seen a tea like this before?
What is tea ceremony paired with? Let's see.
Void.
Void.
Yeah, but this would be using my intelligence,
Yeah.
which, by the way, my memory might kick in on this.
Yeah, switch it out to excuse me. Yeah, switch it out to intelligence, and excuse me, where is it? There it is.
So, how would we do that?
The bonus?
Yeah, roll 2, keep 1, I guess.
No, it's easy. There's little boxes that let you kind of switch it out.
I see it. Okay, so
Yeah.
I could go down to intelligence.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
And then
Okay,
one
let me
and
do it.
one
Trained.
on the next two. No, we'll add roll 1 plus 1.
10. I get to add one more. I forgot to add the +1.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna tell you.
So
you could do this. So
yeah, I see it.
and,
Okay.
And then because you're
So-
trained, there you will take my roll.
18.
Yeah.
Oh well, 30.
And
18. Yeah.
We'll take my.
I rolled a 36, but 18. Yeah.
And we'll put this back.
Let me go back to void.
I did it.
Got it.
You got it. So
Awesome.
18.
Nice.
You've never
Yeah.
seen tea leaves like these or
Mhm.
seedlings like this at all. The flecks of gold would kind of, even though it is a softer metal,
Mhm.
it would almost sour the tea.
When what you are saying right now, I am saying it like almost like if I'm thinking to myself,
Okay. Yeah.
but I'm like just speaking it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I've seen tea from every corner of the empire, and
Yeah.
I have never seen anything with gold. It would
Yeah. The gold flecks
ruin the tea.
would mean that it's a mountain tea, so it's already going to be a sour tea.
Yeah.
And the gold would just make it so acrid that it wouldn't be sustainable for human consumption.
Huh. I look at the crab and I go, "Do you know of any rituals that would require something like?" And I'm saying that, by the way, whispering, so the other two don't hear it, because I don't want to freak them out.
Would I know anything about that?
Let me see. Would that fall under your Maho or would it fall under? Let's do a Shadowlands roll. Let's handle it.
Alright.
Let's handle it that way.
I think it's the wrong one. Oh, I did trained. Okay.
Damn.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jesus, 37.
Holy crap!
God damn.
Dice are on fire.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, for real. You know that there are some species of tea plants that have kind of
Okay.
migrated unnaturally, like people have migrated it into the Shadowlands, and
Oh,
the taint gives it a tenacity to grow in places that it normally wouldn't.
Great. Great.
So I think we know our who did all the runes.
You guys whispering about? Can I know?
Yeah. Come here. Come closer.
Okay. All right. I hunch over.
And and then like I look over at the peasants. Go back into the huddle.
Yeah. You just like hold up
And
your
I go,
finger, hold up your finger like very nonchalantly. just a moment.
One second.
Yeah.
And
Well, he's explaining. I'm gonna investigate both of them for taint.
Okay.
So I tell you that this tea is from the Shadowlands. And it's humans,
for the boy,
and this would actually harm people that drink it. It's not something that you would drink.
and this one's for the
normally.
mom.
And the guy that drank this died, right?
Well, he was killed by my cousin. He didn't
Oh,
die
just-
because of this.
Okay, got it. Just kidding.
He
All right.
was beheaded by my cousin.
I missed that part. That's okay.
It's okay. You were unconscious.
Be happy you did. It wasn't.
It wasn't
pleasant.
pleasant. It wasn't pleasant at all.
It doesn't sound great. The whole situation sounds shitty.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm kind of glad you weren't there because you probably would have punched him, and then I would have to apologize to the Daimo, apologize to my family, apologize to you, and more
Who's
apologies
this
than
guy
I'm ready
again?
for.
Who's
My
the guy
co-
that I should punch?
My cousin, and I'm taking care of it.
The guy that I should punch.
Yeah, but the Crane are good at apologizing.
They're huge at apologizing.
Fine. Yeah, they're great at it.
As
We're amazing at it.
as you kind of look them over this time, looking for the telltale signs of taint, you notice that the beating that the boy received has exacerbated his taint, and it's kind of spread. The mother has tiny traces of it. It looks like it hasn't latched on, but it has it is sitting there in her system. Now you can see little specks in the whites of her eyes. You can see that she has kind of like a discoloration on the back of the hand.
Okay.
In time, she'll die of it. But you can
I'm worried
assume
about the damage she's going to do before she dies of it.
Yeah, the boy looks like he might not make it to the end of the year.
Oh, why?
And
The death sentence.
Winter Court just ended, so the year just started.
Yeah. What is the kind of the rule for dealing with peasants that are tainted but not showing
I was about to ask the
like
same
ill
question.
intentions yet?
It depends on the clan, and given where Shiromori Sato sits, you've got 3 different clans that get to weigh in on what happens to them. If they're useful, they can be sent to Dragonlands, where they can live off of the JT. But they'll have to move to that one location where the monks brew and grow the tea.
Yeah, these two aren't that useful.
If
Unfortunately.
they're not useful, then the merciful end is to bring them a swift and painless death.
Before they turn into monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And before they spread even further out.
To other people.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse us 1 minute. I'm gonna take these guys to a separate location so we don't have to have this chat in front of them.
I
No.
agree.
I was not saying we have to kill them in front of them. That was this was a discussion with the DM.
Right.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure I didn't overstep my bounds.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And honestly, this is the type of thing that you would want to bring. We want to bring up to the Daimo before we take action.
Sure. I mean,
Maybe.
since you're going to say that, I was just going to be impulsive, but sure.
I'm already going to be apologizing for one death.
I'm young and a crab, so it's kind of like manners and everything aren't my best suit. Yeah, like so.
Yeah. This is why you're an older. This is why you're an older character, Pete.
I have a lot more in common with Tamari than a crane.
That's why I'm playing. That's why I'm playing the elder, wiser one.
You suggest that, I'm like, oh, we could do that.
And first thing, we should move them out of this home, because this home needs to be burnt to the ground.
Hold up, wait. If we move them out of the home, then we put them in a new home, maybe the same thing's gonna start happening.
No. This was something that was specifically done in this house.
Is there a temple within this town? I asked you, Tamori-san.
There are 3 in the town.
3. Okay.
One in the north side of town near the mines. That's a temple to the Fortune of Gold. There's a temple on the small island in the lake that is said to be to Lady Moon. And there's a temple in the south that has been kind of disused in the last couple decades. That used to be just an ancestral kind of temple. It kind of sits where everybody. It used to be the kind of cremational area where people were taken to cremated, and where families were kind of given the packed ashes of their loved ones, and there's a whole kind of situation based around that temple. It's fallen into disuse though. So the 2 main temples are the one across the lake that there's a ferry to twice a day, and then there's the one in the north.
Okay.
So yeah, taking them to a temple would be.
Preferable.
Lady Moon, I think, would probably be the best one. She's the gentlest.
Yeah. If we could do something for them.
And if we, if we.
All right, Crab, tell me your opinion fully, and then Crane, tell me your opinion, and then I'll be the mediator.
Oh no! I'm gonna be with the Crab on this. What's gonna happen is I'm gonna have to go tell the Daimo, and we offer a clean death because
I would. They're tainted, and once you are tainted, it is a done deal. No one has ever recovered.
Right, but do you want to tell them they're gonna die, or just kill them while they don't know?
Well, killing them while they don't know would probably be the most honorable way to handle it. But well, hold on. I have a witness, basically an expert witness. Okay, I want to try to use my etiquette. To see if in my mind I could play out with the Daimo what would probably be the most honorable way to handle these two peasants that have unfortunately been tainted, and what I'm going to have to tell the Daimo.
Oof. That's gonna be.
Yeah, I'm playing that.
Nobody likes talking about.
I'm doing crane chess in my head.
Yeah. That's gonna be a rough roll.
The daimyo here?
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough roll because you don't know which clan the daimyo kind of falls in line with.
I'm channeling
if
my
any.
sister.
So.
Oh, I'm channeling my sister and everything I've ever seen her do, and I'm using a point of void.
Oh. Okay. So that's gonna give
because
you.
I believe it is that delicate of a situation.
Okay. So that's gonna. Are you trained?
Yes, I have 2 ranks in etiquette.
Okay. Then.
I'm a crane.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're great. Come on now.
So the void point is
as sharp as katana.
Yeah, the void point is gonna give you a +1 keep 1 that I've just added to you. So go ahead and make your trained roll.
Yeah.
And then I'll subtract it. 43.
Wow.
God damn. That's a good roll.
This is what cranes. And I, you know what? In the back of my head, I thank my sister for everything she taught me.
Oh yeah. You sit there for a moment and you kind of just space out, but you're playing every angle against itself. You're like, if he's leaning Phoenix, I have to come at it from this angle. If he's leaning Dragon, I can come at it from this angle. And if he's leaning Phoenix, then I have to come at it from that specific angle. And 2 out of 3, 66%, is you approaching with the offer of finishing what your cousin started, in the hopes that he got lucky of ending a kind of spread of taint.
An infestation.
Yeah, by taking out the father first. Not to say that he acted in a manner that is representative of the rest of your clan currently in Shinomori Sato, but it's definitely the angle that saves the most face.
And my argument can also be that sometimes the fates just intervene.
Yeah. But sure enough,
with the wedding about to happen here,
yeah,
of course the fates intervened.
Yeah. Are you gonna take them
to
the magistrate building, or are you just gonna tell them to hunker down?
No, I'm gonna go to the magistrate building.
Stay here with them.
You two take them to the temple because they're gonna want to at least pray before they go because they're tainted. They should at least have a chance.
Are we telling them that they're going?
Not yet. The most delicate thing would be tell them that we're going to go to the church, to temple, to pray for their husband, which is not a lie because their husband was tainted. So we're not lying. I'm saying complete truth.
Yeah.
I'm going right by.
Straddling that scorpion line.
Well, the thing is, we will tell them the truth at some point at the temple. But we're going. My thing to you two is to take them there so they can pray for the father. I'm going to tell the daimo, and I will go and meet you there.
Bad liar, but we'll try.
That's why I'm not
gonna
asking
lie.
you. I'm asking him.
Be there.
The fair.
You just be here and offer condolences and kindness because you're really good at that, little dragon. You have a very kind heart, and it will feel at ease around you.
Sure.
All right. So
As the three of you
I
are setting this plan in motion, and you're deciding what roles you're going to do, you see the boy kind of come to the door, since you guys have moved outside to not include them in your plans. He comes over to the door, and you see him stumble in the door frame, and as he kind of pulls his shirt open, you see the symbol that I messaged the group, and he starts to vomit up black bile and blood.
right, cut his head off.
Sink. I was about to say I'm gonna use
Yeah.
I go all crane, and my blade just flies.
All right. Both of you roll your. Let's do your kenjutsu,
Initiative.
but
You know what? I'm
Kenjutsu. Okay.
yeah, but
I'm actually gonna attempt to just trip him and I'm not gonna draw my blade.
Uh-huh.
I'm just gonna attempt to get him on his knees on the floor.
Okay. So yeah, so you
And
you
then
roll,
I will be the one to do the
yeah. So you roll, James. You roll jujitsu. Pete, you roll kenjutsu, but both of you attach that to reflexes instead of whatever it is attached to right now.
Attached to agility.
Yeah. So you should be able to drop.
All right.
Okay. Reflexes. I get +1 to that die roll because of Blessing of Air.
All right, so I got 17.
Yeah. So let's see what Pete gets.
Oh, wait, hold on, I forgot. Since
39.
Jesus.
So nice.
Sorry, I actually get a +1, keep 1 to that roll, and
Okay.
since he's tainted.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
since I know him to be tainted. Sorry.
Okay, I put it back to agility.
Oh.
Nice.
Okay, so it adds 13 to your total.
Okay, perfect. You did it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So you.
We are a well-oiled machine.
So 30 and 39. Wow. So, as you kind of go down into your sweep motion, you hear the very soft kind of clink that you're used to of the stabard guard kind of coming loose from its holster, from its home.
Scabbard.
And
Yeah.
and as his body falls, Tamori-san, you see just this kind of simple arc of just red spatter against the houses. His house and the house next to him and the floor. And as the body falls in one direction, the head falls in a different direction.
Blood everywhere on the walls.
Yeah. Yeah. And from inside the house,
Nice.
you can hear shuffling, and you can hear what sounds like something like a clay pot kind of shattering. And as you kind of peek inside, you can see the woman herself kind of scratching in the same location. And as she pulls her kimono open, you can see the same kind of brand has emblazoned itself onto her flesh.
Okay, little
Alright.
dragon, that one's yours.
Ready? Kenjutsu time. Let's go, bitch.
All right.
Let's go.
Again, attach it to your
Reflexes?
reflexes instead.
Do I do E since it's rank 3?
No, E is for
No,
emphasis.
I just trained. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's if you have an emphasis. 27. Yeah, 27 is
Nice.
enough to just cleanly cut her head off as she kind of falls forward. And there's a heavy thud. James, this is the symbol that you are familiar with. It is the kanji for gold, and it is the calling card of Koganero no Yakusoku.
Strikes again.
Yeah.
I clean my blade on the clothes of the body, on a clean. I'm not going to wipe this on my kimono,
Mhm.
so I, because
Okay.
that blood is tainted. No.
Yeah.
You know. It's like.
So the decision was made for us, Crane. All you're thinking got us here.
And all my thinking got us to. Well, I still know exactly how to apologize.
Yeah.
Okay.
I say a small
And
prayer
by the
over
way-
them.
Okay.
Stop. Yeah, like I just,
I join him on the prayer.
Okay.
yeah. And because obviously
Um.
these people were unfortunately innocent and dragged by this monstrous person into this horribleness.
Yes.
So
Oh, wait a
Um,
minute. She mentioned that he was a friend of another peasant.
yes,
We need
Nation.
to, yes. We need to find that other peasant and check out their house because
Kill
there
them.
first we need to get this cleaned up.
we need to. Yeah.
we need to get to here.
One thing at a time.
You handle the cleaning up. I think I need to go apologize before they find out something.
What? Why would you? No.
And then
wait.
bow. And bow.
Wait. No. I grab you by the shirt collar. I grab you by the back. There's a little thing. Let me grab. Whoa. You do the choppity chop. You could definitely help us.
You did the choppity chop.
I also did choppity chop. I ain't running. I'm right here.
Hold on. You did choppity chop. I did more like a beautiful single stroke.
Are you just being queasy? Are you?
No, there's a smirk on my face.
Crab, can you handle this while I handle the woman, please?
Agreed. Well, hold on a second. We don't touch these bodies. We can't. And I will. Cause we can't touch these bodies.
Yeah.
Why?
We can't touch because you want to be tainted
Oh.
like them.
Yeah, you cannot. This.
We will gain the taint if we touch that. By the way, clean that blade right now on that, and I point to the rags of one of their clothing.
No, I'll do
Before-
it inside.
Good, because taint. Use water.
Okay.
Okay, so we can't. In good
Yeah.
faith, we can because they're not even considered people. So we could call for the oh my god, the people that could handle
Eda.
bodies.
Eda.
The Eda. We could call the Eda. But I'm worried about the Eda getting corrupted. Oh crap! How do we handle this?
Frozen?
Actually, hold on, because of what just happened. I look at you and I go, Kuni-san, how do we handle this? I think he's frozen.
I think
Yeah.
that's exactly what I just said.
Yeah. He is
I'm
in
frozen.
quiet contemplation, trying to figure out the best angle to attack this problem from.
Crane,
Yeah.
I'm going to go. I go inside. I clean my blade with some of the bedding that is in there.
No, not the bedding. The bedding was where the symbol was. No. Use the water over there with the ladle and that rag over there. And I point at some other rag.
Okay, I take the rag and I do the water in the.
Yeah. Yeah.
I clean it up.
He'll be back.
I'm like, no.
Sheathe
Okay,
it.
so, I'm worried. Okay, so I tell you this out loud. Actually, there's a crowd outside by now, right?
Yeah. easily. People have kind of like started to figure out that something has gone on, and
I yell out to everybody to back away in my most commanding voice.
Okay, but also tell them not to touch the blood that's all over all the walls.
Well, that's why I'm telling them to back away. Oh yeah, and whoever lives in that house and in that house, out of your homes now.
they
So silent.
they start to they start to get to work.
And I look over at and I go, and you might notice why this is a big deal for, especially for a crane. I look at you and I go, Kuni-san,
Yes.
what would be the proper way to handle this? Because if we get the ETA and they touch these bodies, they will get corrupted as well. I know that they are ETA, but I'd rather not have the ETA corrupted.
Crab.
Kind of what they're for. Yes.
Crab. Can I throw a sheet on him?
You could, yeah, just don't touch them.
Okay, got it.
Don't touch them.
Got it. I grab a sheet and I throw it on him.
You know?
So there was a crowd coming up, and you missed this. I used my commanding voice, a crane, and told everybody to back the beep up. And she was like, "Don't touch the houses!" And I ordered whoever lived in that house next door out, because there's blood all over the wall, and it's corrupted blood. So
Yeah,
I
we
guess
can wash
we
that
called
off.
the ETA. And I feel horrible that the ETA are going to have to touch this, but there's no one else. And burning the bodies in the middle of the street is a little uncouth.
Just a little bit.
Well, I won't build a fire hot enough to actually just create a nasty barbecue.
But wait, also, the lady I decapitated was in the house, yes?
Yes.
Yes. So that
Okay.
blood is all over the inside of the house.
Yeah.
Can we burn the house?
Oh no, we're definitely burning the house. The house is
Got
coming
it.
down.
Yeah.
All right. How can I burn the house? That's my job.
Well, first of all, we need to tell the local people to get buckets of water so the fire doesn't spread.
Yes.
Because we don't want to burn down the entire neighborhood.
Yeah, but I'm a dragon. This is what I do.
Yes, but we don't want to burn down the entire neighborhood yet.
The crab is frozen again.
Maybe.
Uh,
Yeah.
no, he's frozen.
Okay.
So, yeah, we don't
So-
want to burn down the entire neighborhood yet, because we don't know if everybody's corrupted, but that is a possibility.
As you're looking inside the house to try and find something combustible, something to kind of create a fire, you notice that he'll be back. The blood that's kind of splattered on the wall is dripping down. The blood on the floor is also kind of pooling, but you notice that they're all gravitating towards the bladder underneath the bedding. And we need
That's
to be
not good. That's definitely not good.
Yeah.
Kuni-san. I point. The blood from the bodies is being drawn to the rune that was under the bedding where the bladder was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I called to peasants to bring as much firewood as they could find.
Some of them
The
scattered.
houses are built out of wood and paper, so I'm pretty sure they're going to
Wood,
go off.
yeah, but more, because we need you said we need a hot fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything that we could use, like maybe their fire stoker, to start trying to stab more at the stomach there?
There's a couple of pieces of obsidian that it looks like the husband kind of came home to work on, but they're kind of like arrowhead sized.
Are you looking for something to poke at the floor and stuff?
Just try to destroy that as much as possible.
Hold on.
Ooh,
I look at
I
a
can
peasant
stab it.
and no, don't use your blades for that. That's not no. Hold on. I look at a peasant and I call. You know they're called rakes in our culture. I don't know what they're called there.
Yeah, she can have a rake.
Now I need one now,
Yeah, she brings you her wooden rake.
and I throw it to the crab. I go Kuni,
Yeah.
Kuni-san, and I throw it.
Yeah,
There.
I just try to start really destroying that symbol, and we need a Shugenja.
Yeah.
And I look at the little dragon, and I go, Tomori-san, I need help with as much of this wood that the peasants are bringing to throw into this house.
You say
I didn't hear you.
Crab, you said something Shugenja. What'd you say you cut out?
Oh, it'd be helpful to have a Shugenja here.
Yeah.
I know several. Hold on. So I will walk outside. Are there any of the orphan children around watching?
No, not at all.
Okay, so
So I was like, what do you got planned?
No, I was going to grab one and tell him to go. I was send him back to my camp to bring a Shukenza.
They're peasants. What do
bring
they
one
care?
I trust.
Have them stab at
Yeah,
that. Have them stab at the
I
ladder.
care about peasants.
No, we don't want the peasants, dude. Okay, we cannot be samurai without peasants being peasants.
Yeah.
I do not want to waste the peasants getting bad.
So, as all of this is happening outside, you see, James, you notice that as you stab the rake into the bladder, there's the kind of popping sound that you didn't hear before, and there's a small kind of gush of the blood that is collected so far. And as it kind of pumps up, there's an unnatural kind of ebb that brings it onto the rake itself. And you see it start to you see it start to eat up the
It starts to eat up the
firewood. Lots,
Hey, Chewy.
Yeah.
And lots of firewood.
Hey, Chewy, does my I can't say it. My
Shugenja?
lore in yeah, my gosh, I don't know why I can't say it. But
Shugenja?
does my lore in it help?
The lore would be more about like knowing what they do and what they're capable of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Right. James, I don't know if you heard before you were kicked off. As you puncture the bladder, there's a popping sound, and the blood kind of pools up, and as it kind of bubbles up, it ebbs onto the actual rake itself and starts to eat at it like acid.
Well, that's not great.
Firewood. Lots and lots of firewood. I'm just start throwing it into the house at this point. And I tell the peasants to throw it in. Do not come in, throw it in.
Is there fire started here? Like, is there fire pit going here?
Yeah.
Or no?
Yeah, it's light. It's a soft
All right,
fire.
I just keep it going.
Okay.
Maybe take a Tamori mat, throw it in there.
Yeah, it's
what?
That's...
tatami mat.
No, sorry, the tatami mats.
Yeah.
There you go. Sorry, not your mat. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Screw this dragon's bed.
You start to kindle it and to excite the fire, and sure enough, the tatami mat catches, and it starts to spread the fire into the rest of the house. As you get out, you can hear the fire spreading, and as it covers the bladder, you hear a shrieking noise, kind of like an animal that's been hurt and kind of running away from a hunter.
I'm outside. I start praying aloud, and I'm doing it mostly not only to calm myself, but to try to calm the peasants that are now hearing this screaming that is not normal.
Yeah.
And they're probably a little freaked out.
Yes.
I'm trying to give an air of confidence and praying. Hopefully they will join me in that prayer, so they will calm down a little bit before they go bonkers.
Yeah. Ray, you see two of the magistrates, the Ashigarus, kind of come running around the corner. One of them is a male in his early 40s. His name is Bogan. And the other one is a female in her early 30s called Mayari. And you see that they kind of like come running because of the fire, the smoke, and whatnot. And as they see the three of you in the kind of gathered group, you see them both kind of bow respectfully. And Bogan steps up. Tamori-san, is it? Should we be concerned?
I return the bow.
I would be concerned. Hold on, Crane. Hold up. I got this. I can explain the situation.
Please.
there was a child, and then there was a lady, and they like exploded internally, and then I decapitated one of them, and the crane did the child.
I'm looking at the peasants, and I'm like, wow, we need to talk about tact.
Yeah, the Ashigaru, both of them kind of look at each other, and then they look at the fire, and then they kind of turn back to the three of you.
I'm gonna step in and use my etiquette to smooth over what she said. I know it's gonna be almost an impossible roll.
Yeah. No, let's have you roll your etiquette.
But I come in. Okay.
I'm gonna walk up to the peasants and tell them to start, basically get their fire brigade.
Wow, not bad.
Go get water.
21, not bad. Yeah, they start to get to work.
I tell them what happened and the fact that we were forced to act to protect the village.
The male nods as you retell the story. Are you leaving any facts out? Or are you just, where do you start and where do you end?
I play a lot like I played it out in my head, how my cousin, it was a happy accident with my cousin, and how it led to this.
Okay, so you start with him?
Because I already planned this out in my head, so I'm not going to change midway through.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like, okay, you're not the daimo, but if my brain, that chess move works for the daimo, it should work with you.
Yeah,
blah.
Yeah, and he listens to your explanation of the situation, and then he turns and he's like, Mayari-san, please head to the magistrate building and warn the representatives and the daimyo that we have much to discuss. And she nods and kind of bows to the three of you and then rushes off towards the magistrate building.
I return the bow.
He sighs, and then you see him kind of walk over to a kind of little entryway to what looks to be a kind of little ramen restaurant, like a kind of mom and pop food place, and he says something to the person behind the counter, and as he comes out you see that he has removed his armor and is just kind of rolling up his sleeves to help with the water brigade, and you see him kind of like getting in line and
good man,
making sure that he's the one that's closest to the building and whatnot. And you see the line kind of shift over.
The level of respect I have for this man just skyrocketed.
But you see as he kind of starts grabbing the buckets and helping out with the water, he looks over at you as he hands one back.
We're still throwing firewood in.
Yeah, the fire's
We're throwing firewood in to make sure it's hot. It's like just the wood keeps flying in.
Yeah. There's a moment where you see this kind of orb of red and purple kind of viscous fluid shoots up out of the fire. But it just kind of tries to take shape. So it looks kind of like this weird amalgam of shapes. As you see a wing here, a kind of tail there, a beak here, and then the kind of paws of a dog, and then it just goes skyrocketing back into the fire. And there's another shriek before it goes completely quiet, and there's a snuff of fire, and it goes out in an instant.
It's unexpected.
We lucked out.
It's almost like a whirlpool of air just ate up all of the fire.
Like an internal combustion.
Yeah.
I grab my jade pendant and just mutter a prayer and basically hope that this is over. And I walk into what was the burning building.
Oh.
Okay.
And I draw my sword.
I follow him in, and I'm drawing my sword.
The wood creaks.
I look at Tamori-san, and I go.
Yeah.
And I draw my blade.
Both of them.
All right. Wakizashi and Katana come out. Katanas for the rest of you. As you
Actually, you know what? No, my katana's not drawn. I just have my hand hovering over the handle.
okay, as the three of you kind of walk into the what is now the decrepit building, the husk of this building, of this house, this once home. The floor creaks. There's a heavy crunch of kind of the burnt wood, and you can feel like the crunch of the foot kind of stepping into a heavy layer of ash, almost like snow. And as you enter the space, there's a similar sensation of a weight being lifted. There's the similar sensation of that oppression kind of sliding or slithering away from this area. And now that you're standing here, that all of you are kind of understanding what it is to kind of be in an area that is untainted. You now stand looking out into a city that feels oppressive. There's a heavy shadow that looms over the whole city. And slowly, it is starting to recede away from this northern section. There's a small respite here, and there's a small respite in the magistrate building. And even the air around the caravan, now that you're standing here, now that you've cleansed this area, feels oppressive. Like, you notice that here, you can actually kind of think rationally. You're not as eager to kind of jump at the first thought that comes into your mind. You're not as eager to kind of lash out instinctually. A lot of cloud has been removed from your minds.
I put
Put the sword away.
a hand like on the shoulder of Kuni-san, like, you know, like approval.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, good job. Because, you know, he guided us through all this mess, because I would have been lost here. And I just then I look at Tamori, and I just give like a nod, like, you know, we could calm down and put the blades away type thing.
I just gaze over the city and just go. I look back at without looking at the crane. Just go, not over yet.
Definitely not.
And I'm gonna walk off and try to collect my thoughts.
Okay. It's a lot easier now.
Yeah.
A lot of the miasma that was kind of cloudy and kind of making it hard to just think, just kind of question things has lifted.
I look at both of you, and I'll be back in a little bit.
Yeah, he's walking away.
I need to talk to my cousin.
Yeah. You see both of them walking away from you, Ray. And the kind of urge to go on your own walkabout kind of creeps up.
I reluctantly put my swords away.
Oh, man.
Because I don't consider beheading a very defenseless woman a fun battle.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that wasn't a battle. That was a mercy.
Right. I walk back towards the place that I'm staying at, just to make sure and check on the old lady who takes care of me.
Yeah. Oh, she's fine. She's there. She's just kind of like leaving out the plates, covering the plates for lunch. Seeing that you hadn't arrived for at the regular lunchtime, but as she sees you walk in, she's like, "Ah, here you are," and she starts to take off the covers.
I'm gonna go back to my camp, and seek out my cousin. Because I start to remember that he wasn't this rash before we got here. He was hot-headed, but never this rash.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to think that what was in the air was nudging him.
Yeah.
And I think we need to talk.
Yeah. And as you start to walk through the city and head south towards the encampment, the urge for violence starts to rise.
Ah.
Like, what if all he needs is just his own beating to kind of put him in place?
Okay, I think I'm old enough to be self-aware enough to stop for a second. And this is in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
I just stop for a second, I close my eyes, and I meditate to center myself again.
Okay. James, where are you gonna go?
I'm gonna wander town. Just gonna kind of let my feet do the walking
Okay.
and see where life takes me, and because I'm wondering if I'm in over my head.
Okay.
It's probably where my mind's going, and I'm just trying to sort everything out, and
Yeah.
just seeing if I have an epiphany, but really just I had to basically, like, I feel guilty about having to basically murder almost two
Yeah.
innocent people because somebody else did something horrible to them.
Yep.
And I'm just trying to like, it doesn't sit easy with me.
You meander for a bit, an unknown amount of time, and all that time, your thoughts are just like weighing what you're doing, what you had done, and what you think the future holds for you. And as your thoughts kind of come back to the problem at hand, you end up not paying attention and kind of tripping but catching yourself. And as you kind of see the surroundings, you don't know when it happened, but you're no longer surrounded by the buildings of the city. You're no longer surrounded by the sounds of the peasants kind of going about their lives. There's a quiet breeze and the sound of leaves rustling, and in front of you is the large traditional temple entrance, the kind of red wooden gate that leads to the temple beyond, the spiritual doorway, as it were. And you notice that almost mockingly you have found your way to the northern temple dedicated to the kami of fortune, and sitting there on the coin that this large cat statue is kind of holding in its paw is the symbol for gold. It is the kanji symbol that has been worshipped as, a fortune, a symbol of good luck. And here, today, and throughout your hunt, you've started to notice that it's become perverted. It's become tainted. How does this sit with you?
Not well. I'm gonna go into the temple.
Okay. You see that there is a old man kind of sitting there in priest robes, just sweeping, and as you enter he kind of bows low to you.
I bow.
Oh, yeah. Are you here to pray?
Yes.
Excellent. I will leave you to the spirits then. And you see that he steps over to the little water well that they have there, and he cleans up the small wooden spoons that they have. And he goes over. You hear him clap twice. He puts his hands together. There's a moment, and then he claps one more time, and then he kind of steps away from the altar.
Mm-hmm. I say a quick prayer to the kami. Just to be respectful more than anything.
Yeah.
Since that whole gold thing isn't sitting well with me.
Yeah.
But I obviously don't want to upset the spirits. And are the symbols in here for gold, are they perverted, or are they more like just a normal symbol and I'm just seeing it as like something disgusting right now?
It's, as far as you can see, it looks to be just an artistic rendering of how the kanji has always kind of been attached to koku. The cat itself has that kind of bread loaf sized coin that it has, that it's kind of like holding up like a traditional little thing that you see in like movies and TV shows, or even restaurants and such.
Are there any cats around?
There's a couple.
I grab a piece of like some food that like one of my little traveling rations and offer it to one and just kind of stroke it a bit.
He's hesitant.
Try to like
he's hesitant
center my
to come
thoughts
over.
a bit, calm me down.
But you notice that it is this dark gray, kind of short-haired Maine Coon.
Okay.
Just these beautiful kind of like deep blue eyes. And it just has this soft meow as it kind of realizes that you're offering it food, and it just sits there and takes it from your hand. He is a gentle creature.
I just kind of talk to it a bit, let it know what's like kind of what's going on.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing that happened.
Yeah.
Like trying to get it off my chest a bit, I'll just give it one more scratch, like on the head, and just say, "Protect this place, little one." And I'm just gonna get up and walk out.
As you're getting up, it meows at you, and then it kind of just like it bumps the top of its head against your ankle, and then it just kind of like rubs itself along your shin, and then it goes over and sits underneath the cat statue.
Yeah, I'll walk back to town.
Okay. The old man kind of has been at a distance. He sees you heading to leave, and he kind of steps back into the actual temple grounds, and he's just like, I hope it helped, young samurai.
It did. Thank you.
Good.
Monk.
Good.
And he's a monk, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And he goes back to sweeping, and you hear him humming a tune.
Mm-hmm.
Tamori, as you...
Yeah, I'm just gonna...
Go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna walk back to town.
Okay. So Tamori, as you're eating food, you see that the old lady is kind of cleaning up around you. But she just... It now that you've seen what you've seen,
Mm-hmm.
and now that you've seen how the other peasants treat the other samurais,
Yeah.
there is a hint of her being terrified of you. It's tiny.
That's not uncommon.
It's tiny, but it's there, and it's now become really prevalent because of everything you've seen.
Is there any way that I can check? I'm not the taint person, the crab is. But is there any way that I can just like
Hey, yo, you
make
tainted?
sure I mean, I'm not gonna straight up ask her. That's kind of rude. But is there a
Yeah.
way I can approach?
Are you assuming my taint?
Can I just? I don't know. Is there like a taint vision that I can roll for? Like, what is?
A taint stat. Let's see what skills Tomorimori has that can equate to that.
I mean, I know about Shugenja because that's my whole like
That's your gym
shtick.
jam.
That's where yeah. And then I mean, I don't like. What can I know? What can I? I mean, I'm not very. I have investigation.
Yeah. You know what? You've been hovering over the Kuni this whole time.
Yeah, I know
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, go ahead and roll your investigation, and let's see what has rubbed off on Tomorimori.
Nothing.
15. I imagine you are trying to do this in the best nonchalant way that Tomorimori would, which is to say that there is no subtlety in this. There's just like every time she approaches, you just like you scoot up, your eyeballs open up wide, you're like side-eyeing her every time. Like if she coughs, you kind of stand up. You're like, is this it? Is this where it happens? But from everything that you've seen over the last couple of days, and especially today, there doesn't seem to be any visible markings of taint on her.
All right. I go ahead and I tell her, hey, if you see anything weird or any blood around, do me a really good favor and don't touch it. I don't know if you're in the habit, but just don't.
She sheepishly kind of looks at you. She's like, I was not, but
okay.
I definitely won't be now.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Is
I just bow at her and be like, that's a good idea.
Is there something that I should be worried about, Tamori-san?
No! No!
Is there Maho in the city?
Nope. I don't know. This is really good fish that you've made. It's excellent. I know I eat it every day at this time, and every day I'm surprised at how great it is.
Every day it is a different fish, Tamori-san.
That's news to me. So, thank you. That's great. I'm gonna just keep eating, and ask no more questions and say no more things.
I understand, Tamori-san. And you see her just kind of back away from the room into the kitchen and the rest of her house.
My husband actually brought me fish because he thought I was asking for fish.
What a keeper. But yeah, she backs away. And after lunch is kind of devoured, you see she'll peek in, and once she sees that you're done, she kind of starts to collect the plates.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like, Tamori-san?
Do you live alone in this place that I'm staying at? That I don't remember if it's a real house or like an inn.
It is a house.
Okay. And do you live alone in the house? What? Can I ask your name?
She looks at you for a moment. She's like, no, Tamori-san, I live with you.
Oh. Gosh, you're so nimble because I don't hear you.
Yes, that is years of training.
I'm not like that, am I?
She just shakes her head at you.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay. Thank you for everything that you've done. I think I'm gonna go back out and see if anyone's outside looking at nature or something.
She looks at you though. She's just like, You asked for my name, Tamori-san.
Yeah!
Do you not
Can you
want...
tell me your name, please?
Sure. It's an honor to finally be asked. But it is Bayushi Tiamara.
Bayushi Tiamara. I think that's a beautiful name. Can I call you Tia?
It is your prerogative, samurai. I've
Okay.
left that life behind, so I have no rank.
It's okay. That's fine with me. I'm not looking for rank or anything. I know, I have a rule or a guideline that I should follow, right? And I am a little conflicted because although I want to be the best samurai that I can, I also don't want to set myself higher than anybody else in this world. So I would like to be your equal as much as I can. Tia.
But why would you lower yourself, Tamori-san?
I don't think of it as lowering. I think of you as a person and me as a person, and when it comes down to it, I do have a job, and I respect the role that I have. I just don't want to think of you as a lesser person.
I appreciate that. I served as best as I could, and when my service was called and my time was over, I was sent here as a gift, and my swords have passed on to my granddaughter. So
That's amazing.
I am just a peasant now, Tamori-san.
You're not just a peasant. You're an amazing chef, and you are very nimble and quick, so of course you were trained before. This is incredible. I need to learn from you, not the other way around.
You honor me. And you see her bow and just back into the kitchen.
I bow and then go outside looking for one of the two people who walked away from me, Crane or Crab. Whoever I see in sight first, I will just try to I will try to Tia my way behind them and scare them.
We'll see what happens. And as we fall into where we last left him, we see Doji Izanagi kind of still sitting in the middle of the street, off to the side, actually. Life has passed him by as he has tried to center himself. And it's clearly been some time standing here. You were lost in meditation, but the sun is setting. And people have been very mindful of not kind of bumping into you, interrupting you. You can see that there's been a good kind of berth given to you, a wide berth. But you can hear the sounds of celebration coming from the Enclave. And
Okay.
as you start making your way down towards it, you can... That's... because she said she was doing it. Let's actually see what happens between her stealth skill versus Doji Izanagi's investigation skill. And let's see who sneaks up and who... 19
I got the higher
12.
score.
You did by more than 5 too. So sure enough, you see that for a moment he's kind of standing there, and it looks like he's just lost in thought, and then he kind of snaps out of it, takes a deep breath, and as he starts walking south towards the Enclave...
I was going to ask you, do you want me to actually roll my meditation?
No.
Because I'm trained.
No.
Okay.
You're fine. It's difficult to center yourself in the miasma of the oppressive atmosphere. It isn't impossible. It's just harder. But as you're walking, you notice that the villagers are kind of moving away from you, and then out of nowhere, what happens, Ray?
Go right up to his ear, and I go as close as I can to his ear while he is deep in thought, thinking about all the serious shit we've been talking about.
Yep.
And I go, that is my attempt at what a crane sounds like.
That's close as I'll ever get to hearing what a crane sounds like.
So I jump.
So do the rest of the villagers around you.
Yeah, I jump and I turn around and I make a mental note how stealthy she is. Because that might come in handy later.
Yeah.
And I look at her and I go, you almost got it right. Is more like and then I go,
nice. So the two of you are exchanging noises.
Mm-hmm.
Of what you think crane sounds like.
I look at you and I go, Tamori-san, I need to I think it's gonna be a very difficult talk with my cousin. Would you mind joining me for my walk? It sounds like a celebration as well.
The one who beheaded that person?
Yeah, I think that he was affected by what we are probably. You're probably feeling it right now too.
Oh, right? I'm feeling something. Yeah, I'll go.
Okay, no.
There's
Maybe you.
Yeah, no, I'm going.
there's no need to urge them into action. Like that exists at 80 miles an hour to begin with. The miasma is just like, it's a straightaway. Who's to say?
Okay, so we will. I will start heading to the enclave. Wait a minute, is it my camp or the enclave?
The camp is the enclave. The enclave of Crane. Yeah.
Follow that motherfucker.
I start heading to the enclave. And as I start getting closer, I look at one of the younger samurai. They would be samurai ko, right?
Yeah.
They're children still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I look at one of the samurai ko and I go, gather, and I name 4 Shinjuka that I trust. Shukenja that I trust.
Uh-huh.
Gather this person, this person, this person, this person. Meet me at my cousin's tent.
Huh?
And I go to my cousin's tent.
All right. You see that as you're getting closer, there's a crowd kind of surrounding the tent. Mostly in the front of it, you can hear laughing. You can hear the sloshing of large casks, kind of being passed around. And as you get closer, you just hear, and all it takes is just being confident in your skill, and you can accomplish anything.
Whose voice is that?
That's Doji Barano's. Just
okay, my cousin.
Pumped up, full of bravado.
Actually, that's good. That's what I need him to be right now. No, really. No. I have an idea.
Yeah.
I come through the crowd.
Yeah. And you catch him right at the end. He's like, and it is as Doji Dai has told me himself. Never question the instinct of your own blade. And as you part the crowd,
I will quote part of like a saying of the Doji the First about a blade striking through, like something about faith and the blade striking true.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I quote one of those lines.
Yeah.
And I get whatever cup that he's drinking, and I hold it to him like to tap cups together. I'm trying to pump up his ego a little bit.
Okay. He's he's trepidatious about it, and one of his other boys is like, "That's Doji Dai's son," and they all kind of start to point at you.
And I just look at my cousin. What does my cousin say?
He takes the cup.
Has he realized who I am right now?
Yeah. He at that point he does take the cup from you. And you see him. There's a very small hint of his hand trembling as he brings it to his lips.
Cousin, I need to speak to you.
Did you say cousin?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's my cousin.
Oh, this is your cousin.
Yeah, not you.
No, I'm confirming you're saying this
Oh
is your
yeah,
cousin?
this is my cousin. Cousin,
Got you.
I need to speak to you. Come with me.
Of course. And you see that he
I
finishes.
walk him toward his tent.
Yeah, he finishes drinking the drink. He turns to the group that's there. He's like, "I must leave you all, so that I might impart some wisdom on my teacher's son." And everybody
Hey,
kind
Crane.
of,
I stop for a second,
yeah.
and I look back at him, and I quietly say, "Mark your place."
You see a couple of them kind of clapping. Some of them cheer. But you notice that there's one, as everybody starts to kind of scatter, there's one that's just stoic, kind of standing there. His arms are crossed. And this is the Kakita that you chose.
And I look at him, and I go like this to him as well. You two, I need to speak to both of you.
Crane,
Yes?
do you need
Well, actually,
backup?
Crane,
We're all cranes.
Yeah.
Ugh, a
Yeah.
room full of cranes.
Yep.
Doji.
I look at you.
They
and
both
I
they both
put
look
my-
at you.
Hold on. So I stop, and I put my hand on her shoulder like this.
Yeah.
And I go, Iziagi-san. You may call me Igiagi-san after today.
Izanagi.
Dope.
Uh,
Izanagi, do
Yes.
you want me to you want me to be with
Come with,
you?
yeah, come with me.
Yes.
This involves
All
you.
right.
This involves you too.
The-
Dope.
And I lead my cousin to his tent,
yeah.
and I think they should be there by now, right?
Yeah, as the four of you are kind of gathering at the tent, you see the same kind of little boy coming with 3 out of the 4 Shugenja that you asked for.
My eyebrow goes up. I go, where is the 4th person?
He's like, he wasn't in his tent, Doji-sama, so I brought you the other 3.
Gather a few more samurai ko, check the entire camp, see if you find him, let's say it's a her, find her, and bring me, and I name another Shugenja that I know. There's another one. If not, I'll deal with 3.
Yeah, he nods and he runs off.
And I bring those little folding chairs.
Yep.
I set them up in a semicircle and I sit down. And I go, please sit.
Okay. The Kakita sits to your right-hand side. I'm assuming Tamori sits on the left. The Doji sits on her left, on their left, and then the 3 Shugenjas kind of sit together with the 1 seat kind of left between them and the Kakita.
So fate has intervened through my cousin's instincts. And I'm kind of saying that with a little bit of a bite.
Yeah.
As I motion my cousin. And I tell them quietly what happened.
Okay.
And I mention, and I go to the Shukenja and I go, close your eyes. Meditate. You'll feel it now that I've told it to you.
You see all three of them kind of hesitantly close their eyes. And after a long moment, one of them kind of sits up. This is not right.
So, what I need you three to do is I need you three to cleanse this area. Look for anything, cleanse it, try to keep it as... I don't know enough about magic to be able to tell you how to do it, but it needs to be done.
The eldest male steps forward, is like, this will alert them, whoever has set this in motion.
They already know it's in motion because of what we did. They know. There's
Right.
no way they don't know.
Very well.
And then I look at my cousin, and I go, you.
The three Shugenjas split. They get right to work.
And then I get my chair, and I move my chair a little bit so I'm looking. Not my cousin yet. No. I look at the Kikita.
Yep.
And I go, your job is now more important than ever.
He nods.
What is threatening this wedding and what is threatening the spirits of everyone here is beyond just bandits. It is something that could possibly taint any of us. You must be the falcon on her shoulder. You must watch everything. Your mission now is critical.
He nods
I'm
deeply.
trusting you with this.
I understand, Doji-sama.
Understand that Tamori-san, and I point next to me, is an ally in all this. She knows what's going on. She could be trusted.
He nods. And he bows low to Tamori-san.
Now, cousin, I put my hand on his shoulder. I went, get going. You have somebody to watch over.
He nods. And you notice that this whole time, like, he hasn't had his back to the group, but he has been angled in such a way that the tent was not only in his periphery, but in his kind of like, in his left 90-degree arc.
Yeah. Good man. Good boy.
So, immediately,
my father would
he
be
just
so freaking proud of him.
Yeah, he just kind of starts walking in that direction. As you bring your attention to your cousin, you see him. He sits up like he's expecting the same kind of praise. You see his chest kind of puff out.
I just look at him for a second
Mm-hmm.
to let him deflate because he knows what's coming.
Oh, he's all smiles.
I
Okay.
roll for intimidation first to break that ego and pop it a little bit.
And you know what I will do? I don't know if there's an assist in this game, but I basically do like the courtier looks at the duelist for a split second, then looks at who's going to get killed.
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. So I see what she's doing, and I'm like, perfect.
Yeah, go ahead and roll, Ray.
Got it.
Roll your intimidation. 23.
Nice.
Jesus. Even with adding honor to this, I'm not gonna beat a 23. What do you do to kind of be intimidating towards him? Because he's on cloud 9 right now. He's happy. He's been celebrated. He thinks he's about to get more celebrations.
Gonna stand.
Yeah.
Because that seems to work as a giant.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to put my hands on both of my knives and just pop them out just a little bit so that a little bit of the blade is showing.
Okay.
And I tell Izanagi, ready when you are.
At
I
this
look at you and
point,
I go,
now you see that he swallows hard, and he looks over at you, Pete, and he's just like, Well, this is not what I expected, Doji-san.
No need, Tomori-san. Sit down.
Aw.
Cousin, let's be frank away from other ears. You've stumbled into this situation of honor, but it would be a fool of me not to utilize it to our greatest advantage, especially since we, as you heard, are under siege.
He leans in and he's just like, peasants stumble, Doji-san. I have climbed
And I look at him
to great heights.
and I went, no. I look at him and I go, no. Between you and me, you know you stumbled.
I just saved.
At least be a man enough to admit that between cousins.
I am man enough to admit that I have saved an entire portion of the village by finding this taint. And
By pure
I
luck.
will find if there is other taint.
No,
And you see him stand up.
no. I stand up. I go, close your eyes. Wait a minute.
I put him back.
What do I know about him as far as like who his teachers were?
The second you touch him, Ray, he backs up into a stance. And he just kind of hovers his hand over his sword. How dare you,
Tomori-san,
you monster of a creature.
my head cocks to the side, and I go, after what's happened today, if you insult her, you insult them, you insult me.
But I can also handle myself.
Oh, I know you. I know you can. But that's not the point.
No.
I try to. Okay, do I know who my cousin studied under?
It is one of the students that first graduated under your father.
Okay, so I bring up a story about how his master was really hot-headed at the beginning, and my father trained him how to horn his anger into his strike. And I go, and then, I'm like, listen, close your eyes and meditate for a second. You will feel what is edging you on.
There's
It's not
nothing
honor.
but greatness edging me on. And I will
you
attain
really-
the glory that you have sat by and let wash over you.
Oh, no.
And he starts to walk away. And,
Izanagi, can I kick him now?
and you hear
No, Will.
as he's walking away, he's like, some of us actually prefer to live a life of action and not just have some children to coddle.
No. Sorry, true love kicks in on this point. And I walk over, grab him by the ear as if he was a child, and pull him back. And I
Okay.
go, don't you dare ever
Make
dirty your lips with a mention of my children again.
Make a jujitsu roll, as you have used this before, and he is prepared for this time. Unfortunately,
24.
the dice are not prepared for whatever I'm rolling. 24. Can I even get there?
Yep.
No. 19. Yeah, you see him try to spin his way out of it and kind of put you in an arm lock. But
And then what I do is I literally spin him back, kick his knee out from under him so he falls down to one knee
yep.
with an arm behind his back. And I say what I said. Don't you ever dirty your lips with a mention of my children ever again. Or next time it won't be my fists, it'll be my blade. And you know I am far better than you. And I push him.
There's a moment when he kind of sits there as he slowly gets back up onto his feet. He looks back at the two of you. He kind of brushes away the dirt on his kimono. He shakes his head and he keeps walking into the village.
Stop, Nagi.
I have a feeling I'm going to end up killing my cousin before all this is over.
I have a feeling I'm gonna kill your cousin in the next 10 minutes. Why didn't you let me?
Because I don't want to have to explain to his mother why he died under my watch to a visiting dragon. Okay. And I just nod like, you understand why now?
Yeah.
Understand.
Okay.
Understand. Tomori. Everybody, and I motion out to the camp. Here is my responsibility. I was asked to not only watch over the woman in that tent, but to watch over everyone here. Every life is my responsibility, including the one. And you see this face of like pain that has already been lost.
I understand. And if you would like, you can continue to call me Tiny Dragon, or you can call me Mori.
Though I am honored that you allow me to call you Mori, I like Tiny Dragon.
That's fine.
And I give you like the look I give you is almost, you kind of recognize it like a fatherly like you know, like endearing.
Yeah.
I reciprocate the endearing feeling and put my hand on your shoulder and say, if you call me Tiny Dragon, I will call you Bird Brain.
Okay, Modi-san.
And with that, we see the.
And by the way, I cup your hand with mine when I say that, like
Yeah.
looking up at you. Okay.
We see the crab kind of meander back into town from the temple. Going back to the tea house, I assume. The Lotus house.
What time is it right now?
It's sundown. The sun is setting. By the time you get back in from the temple.
Yeah, I haven't probably eaten anything, so I'll probably stop by. Yeah.
Okay. As you get to the tea house, the Lotus house, the madam is there, and as you approach, she bows low to you. Kuni-san,
Oh.
you are just in time. Dinner is about to be served. Would you like to sit with our master, as he is in session?
Sure. I seem to have great timing today.
And she leads you inside the actual house, down a different side. And this time you notice that as you're brought into the actual house proper and not kind of off to the side down a hallway, kind of like a worker's hallway, the curtains are pulled back. There's a grand, beautiful kind of staircase that wraps up and around what looks to be a kind of beautiful and frightening sight to you, as it is an empty kind of cylinder that extends all the way from the first floor that is lowered here to the roof of the second floor, and it's two tea trees, one growing up and one growing down, and their branches have interlocked and have been kind of spliced to grow together to hold each other in place. And
Okay.
there are small kind of tea lanterns that are hanging from these branches. There's a scent of cinnamon that permeates the room. Sitting on the stairway at different levels, you can see the three girls that work there. And off to another side, you can see another kind of room that has a large bay window sitting in a kind of triangle of round tables. that have 2 seats each. They look to be about maybe 4.5, 5 feet in diameter.
Okay.
Not large, but large enough. And outside in the garden, you can see what just looks like a collection of different tea plants, all growing in a greenhouse. And in the center table, closest to the bay window, you can see the Bayushi sitting there. And as the first couple of plates of food are brought out, he sees you enter with the madam. He bows low, and he motions to the server to bring another set of plates as well. And the server kind of nods at him, bows low to you, and disappears into the kitchen hallway that you imagine kind of wraps around back to your room.
Okay.
And as you sit down, his eyes kind of crinkle almost in a smile, and you can barely see it behind the layers of silk. And he sits back. I heard you had a rough day of it today, Kuni-san.
Some days are better than others.
This is the truth. Anything you care to talk about?
I would not like to spoil your appetite.
I appreciate the thought.
And what I'll do is, instead of talking about today's events, I will probably... I'm going to inquire more as to how long they've been in the village.
Okay.
And just trying to see if they notice if anything has ever... Like, if they've noticed this oppression, like this heavy cloud hanging over the village. If they noticed when it happened, or if it's been so subtle and insidious that it's basically gone unnoticed by him.
He sits there and kind of listens to you dance around the subject of what happened today. And he's like, I have been here the longest out of the representatives. That's not to say that my clan has had the longest vested interest in the city. It's just that I was closest. And so I was dispatched here to set up an embassy, of which I am proud to say that we now have the magistrate building in the center of town, which I helped to design. I designed this fantastic tea house that is both calming and attentive to people's needs, and you see him kind of lift an eyebrow at you. If you have needs, Kuni-san, do not hesitate to let my eldest know.
All my needs are being met.
Excellent. I have noticed that there is a different taste to the teas, and that has been going on for some time. I can't narrow it down precisely. You understand that human memory is a fallacy. It's meant to break down. But I can say that it's no more than a year and a half at most. I can say...
Yeah, look at your plants. One time.
My teas. Of course. Are you...
Yes.
Are you an admirer, or are you a grower yourself?
Neither.
Oh.
I simply would like to look at them and see if I've noticed any of this strangeness that you talk about.
Of course. I will ask that you observe our, shall we say, more outlandish behaviors, as we have done our best to kind of keep the greenhouse separate from the beautiful ornament you see out front. So there is.
I've seen the Shadowlands. You don't have to worry about your greenhouse.
Oh, I've heard stories. Which is why I keep my greenhouse almost like its own sanctuary. So there are heavy drapes to wear, and there are a set of double doors that one must go through to even get into the greenhouse. As we try to purify as much of the air going in and out as possible.
Wow.
I have found that there is a peaceful calm
seriously.
inside the greenhouse. I do take it seriously. Would you like to do that now, or would you like to wait until after dinner?
We can do it after dinner.
Of course. He's like, I do have one thing to ask you, however, and this is something rather personal and irksome, but it might be something that you are wholly indispensable towards. And he slides a kind of origami crane in your direction. He's like, as subtly as possible,
grab it.
I'd like you to unfold that. And please keep your reactions as subtle as possible.
Is there anybody in this other than his servants? Like, is there anybody in the room?
There's one other person that has come in as you have been talking, and your first kind of appetizer has been served.
Mm-hmm.
You see that he's being served tea, and that now the three
I've had enough of
girls,
that
the three girls have kind of come over to stand in view of the tables. But they're over.
Does this
standing by a
person
bar.
have any markings?
No, it just looks like it might be one of the Ashigaru. It could be one of the ruling family here. But there's something that doesn't reek of peasant. Something higher than peasant.
Okay. And fold the crane.
You notice that
Actually, does it look? How does it look?
it is a beautiful ornamentation. Unlike the typical kind of origami cranes that have the wings out, this one has the wings folded, and it does have the kind of long, stocky legs.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Like, you've been working on this for a while. And then
You should see what I
Unfold
can
it.
do with the other clans. And as you unfold it, which is it is in and of itself its own kind of long process, you see that there is a kanji symbol for gold.
Okay. Interesting.
This was one of the few things that drew my attention to the change in the city. Do you happen to know anything about it?
How does it match the symbol, like in terms of artistry, that I saw at the temple today?
It is on par
Or is
with
it different?
it is on par with the creative use of the kanji. It is not meant to be hastily written out. This looks like it was done with a beautiful kind of attention to calligraphy. Like it's thick where it needs to be.
Okay.
It's thin where the brush kind of loosened. It is by all accounts, without the folds in it, it would have been a beautiful kind of piece.
Okay. I kind of look at the Bayushi's eyes, and I want to see how much he really wants to know.
Okay. Give me
And I'm just gonna. Yeah, go ahead.
give me an investigation check.
Give you. All right. Investigation.
Let's see what ridiculous number you come up with. Oh, 33? That's just on par.
That's what I'm good at. That's all I'm good at. That's what I'm built for.
Yeah. You notice that his look is not of him wanting to know anything new. It's more of like he wants to know what you know. Like
Okay.
there's knowledge there in his eyes, and he's just kind of. It's almost like he's gauging your response.
Okay. I believe these symbols, these kanji, is it kanji?
Yeah, kanji.
That are being used in a pernicious fashion.
Oh my.
Yes. And it's not just this one.
Oh. That's news.
Yes. We destroyed some of them today.
You see he reaches into his sleeve of his left hand and
Mhm.
he produces a small kind of black disc and a very thin, very stubby brush, and he kind of slides the brush, and he dips the brush into his teacup, and then he kind of swirls it around the black disc, and you see that it's ink, and he slides both of them over to you. And he's like, "Is it a symbol that you can remember off the top of your head, Kuni-san?"
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh.
And I pull out my book. Actually, I'm not gonna pull out my book. I'm gonna do it off my head.
Okay.
I am still gonna draw it. Like I'm gonna leave a gap in it and everything. I'm just not comfortable
Yeah, I get you.
drawing it all out. Just how I saw it. So I am gonna leave like maybe if somebody cut a line straight through it.
Okay.
Yeah, like but I'll draw it, and I'm like, this was what we saw today.
Oh. Toki. Time. That is interesting.
Mhm.
Time and gold.
Yeah.
The two things that would rule an empire.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
I fear darkness has settled in your town.
That's unfortunate. And as
Very.
the dishes come out for the rest of your dinner, a dish is brought out to the guest that is seated on the table next to you. And as the Tamori and the Doji are kind of off trying to figure out their next move and trying to kind of prepare for the damage control that this other doji is about to bring down on the group, this is where we'll leave this session. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us. As always, please take care of each other, wear your masks, keep your distance, wash your hands, and remember that mental health is part of our general health. And if you are struggling with this past year, like some of us have been doing, there's no shame in reaching out to friends and family. If you are friends and family of some people who are generally strong characters, feel free to reach out to them. You know, there's nothing that a little high and a how you're doing might change somebody's perspective. And if you have no friends and family that you can reach out to, please know that there's no shame in reaching out to professional help. And if we are in chat most of the time, so if you need any help and you see that we're being vocal with you, just ask us to hang around after the stream and we can kind of hash things out with you if you need to. But until then, I will see you on Friday for our Star Wars game, or next Monday for our vampire game, and in a week and a half we will have a special event on March 27th. We're going to be having a mage 20th anniversary set in World War II, so I hope to see you at any of those. Be safe and have a good night.